Okay, in this video, we're going to look at question 7, and part A says compute the cross products I cross j, I cross k, and j cross k without determinants. Okay, so we saw in the first video on cross products how we can compute cross products with determinants, and that, of course, would work perfectly well for these particular cross products, but the point of this exercise is to give us some more practice with this right-hand rule convention, and then also to apply that result on the magnitude of the cross product vector. So let's go and start with I cross j. Okay, so according to the right hand rule, we're going to lay our index finger along I, that's the first vector in the product, so along the positive x-axis. Then we'll lay our middle finger along j, right? That's the second vector in the product, so along the positive y-axis. And you'll have to forgive me for my poor drawings here. So our index finger, this is in the direction of I. Our middle finger is in the direction of J. These are the rest of the fingers. And where's our thumb point? Well, it points upwards in this case. All right, and so we know the cross product then points in the direction of K. Is it equal to K itself? Right? What's the magnitude of I cross J? Well, from the theorem in the last video, that's equal to the product of the magnitudes of I and j. Well, I and j both have magnitude 1, so that product is 1, times the sine of the angle between I and j. And that angle is 90 degrees, and the sine of 90 degrees is 1. So, in fact, the magnitude of this cross product vector is 1, and it points in the direction of k, so it must equal k itself. So I cross j is equal to k. All right, cool. So now let's go and look at I cross k. So now we want our index finger in blue here along I, and then k, right, that's going to be where our middle finger points. Okay, so again, this is quite difficult to do not seeing you in person, but you have to now think about contorting your hand, right? So the index finger is here, the middle finger is pointing upwards. That means your thumb, in fact, must be pointing in along the negative y-axis, right? So in other words, in the direction of negative j. All right, so it points in the direction of negative j, and what's the magnitude? Well, by the same argument for I cross j, the magnitude of I cross k is 1. So this cross product vector has magnitude 1, it points in the direction of negative j, so it must be negative j itself. All right, and then last up we have j cross k. So here our index finger in blue points along j, and then our middle finger is pointing along k. Okay, so now if we curl, right, the index finger towards the middle finger, right, there's our thumb, and that points along the positive x-axis. And so it's what? Well, it's in the direction of I, and it, by the same argument, has magnitude 1, and so j cross k, it's got to equal I. All right, so now a shorthand for remembering these products, and actually even more than these products, is the following little diagram here. So if you follow this diagram in the direction indicated by the arrow, so I, then j. So I cross j, what does that give us? K. And that's exactly what we got up here. I cross j is k. How about I cross k? Well, notice if I go from I to k, I'm moving right in the direction opposite the arrow, so I pick up a negative j. So I cross k is negative j. How about j cross k? We'll go from j to k. That puts me at I, and that's right there. How about, say, j cross I? So if I go from j to I, I'm moving backwards. That's going to put me at negative k, so on and so forth. All right, so now with all of this in place, let's check out B and C. So for B, it says compute this cross product, 3j cross 4i minus 2j plus 5k. Now we saw in the last video that the cross product is distributive, so I can start by distributing this 3j. So I get 12 times j cross I minus 6 j cross itself plus 15 j cross k. All right, so now what's j cross I? J cross I is negative k, as we can see from this diagram. J cross itself, well, in the last video we noted that any vector cross itself is the 0 vector. So that gives us 0 vector. And then j cross k, so j followed by k, that gives us I. So putting that together, 15I minus 12k. All right, and then part C is pretty similar. I minus j cross I plus j. Well, we can distribute, so we'll start there. We get I cross I plus I cross j minus j cross I, and then minus j cross j. Okay, so I cross I and j cross j, those are both the 0 vector. Now I cross j, that's k, and then j cross I, well, that's going backwards, so that's negative k, but there's a negative in front of it, so in fact that's a positive k, and in total we have 2k for our answer. All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks.